はい。それでは、前回の続きですが、いろいろとミッションの解消のために、とりあえずまた初期エリアって言っていいのかなに戻ってまいりました。とりあえず、店主というかガルテに新しい鳥の剥製を渡そうと思う。またチンポコ回転モグバっていうワードが出てきたよ。これはエリマキライチョウだ。オスの求愛の儀式の力強さを象徴している。これを見て自分を戒めてくれ。チンポコ回転モグバの罠には気をつけるように。
Cool. Okay. I was really hoping not to think about the cock carousel any longer because it made me feel like shit. But this is a competent people. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess.
So I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the leader.
It's not actually about that. But he...
じゃあな。で、もう一回アリスに連絡してみるか。
You see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Not yet, but I was able to convince the database people to share private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions? 57, over.
In the cabin, you see a set.
で、タトゥーの意味について聞いてもあれ、これがまだ全然できてないな。で、このゲーム、実はファストトラベルの機能がありまして、マップで教会に移動したり、漁師たちの声に移動したり、ということができると。で、今回こっちも、あれですね、マルティネーズ海浜地区というところに、戻ってきたという感じですね。これファストトラベルでポンと飛べるようになってます。なのですが、ひとまず、身分証を見つけたので、話を聞きに行きましょう。はい。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol.
こいつを見せたら腰を脱がすと、なんと俺の身分証だ。
Did you? Wonderful.
Quickly, she's memorizing your badge number.
身分証の番号を暗記しているのだ。
It is a relief to see a W freighter here. The situation is precarious to say the least. It needs a quick solution, or we will have a bloodbath on our hands.
今事態を収束させると言ったか。
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war.
小規模な内戦に発展する危険をはらんでいる。そしてその影響はレバショール西全体に及ぶと予測される。
Since you are sharing, man, This is also the RCM's work.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
もう一度教えてくれ。このリンチ事件とストライキはどうつながっている？
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me.
一時的に雇用主の信頼を失い、この時に民間の軍事企業を派遣することを決定してしまった。一種の保険というやつ。私の警護部隊という言い方。一時的に信頼を失ったというのは、組合が最初の要求を伝えた後、彼らは派遣してきたと言えばわかる。すべての労働者が取締役会の一員である。はい。雇用主にも説明したんだけれども、どうやらそういうユーモアは彼らに通じなかったみたい。警護部隊までつけられた状況なのか。この兵たちは武力に他ならない。組合を脅して降伏させるために雇われた。オランニエの軍事企業。時折報告がくれるものを決して私の指揮下にあるわけではない。むしろ彼らと私の関係は劣悪なものになりつつある。ややこしいことになってきたな。セラミックアーマーを身にまといセミオート式の武器を持っている。長年にわたる戦闘経験を積んだ者たちよ。一方で、障害を患っていて、都市部で一般人に溶け込んで生活することが困難な一面もある。なんかかなり無茶苦茶なことをして回ってたらしいですからね。
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags, and Lynn, nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor.
情報は一致してますね。特に各陣営の言い分に齟齬はない状態なのか。私が命に立ち入ることを拒絶しているし、この件について組合の誰とも話ができていない状態。クレネルの残る2人の派遣員たちの方は、今も命令に従って動いている。今のところは。水面下でリンチに対する武力報復を計画している。彼らの調査が終わり次第、処刑が実行されることになる。
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the union militants.
組合の武闘派のうち一人だけ殺すのか、それとも全員殺すのか。そういうこと。こっちの捜査とあっちの調査を協力してやればいいんじゃないか。それなら人手も増えるし、情報だって共有できるんじゃないか。そんな協力関係が結べるものかね。とりあえず聞くだけ聞いてみるか。
Surely you're joking. These people are killers.
ですよ
My only
ね。
hope is that yours provides a single concrete suspect before they
あなた
indiscriminately
の
pick
方で
theirs.
説得力のある犯人を一人挙げてくれること。それもあちらが独断で無差別に殺人を犯してしまう前にね。端的に言えば、
If you don't
一刻
pin
も
this
早く
on
もっ
someone
ともらしい
good
人
and
物を
do
見
it
つくるって
fast,
罪を
they
着せ
will
てしまわなくては
identify
な
and
らないというこ
execute
と。
everyone present at the lynching.
さらにと彼らリンチの現場にいた全ての者たちの身元を特定して処刑を実行する。そうなれば組合側も応戦せざるを得なくなる。
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
スズメバチがミツバチの巣に侵入したところを見たことはある？あれは愉快な光景とは言えない。
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30
1分間に
can
40匹の
decimate an
ミツバチを
entire
殺すことが
hive
で
of
きるとされている。
20,000 bees in
30
less
匹の
than
オスズメバチの
4
集団ともなれば2万匹のミツバチからなる巣でさえ4時間以内に壊滅することが可能だ。
These men work in tandem,
セミオートまたフルオートの重火器を使った連携攻撃を仕掛けてくる。アーマーにしても銃器による貫通は実質不可能。あなたの銃を持つしてもきっと無理ね。組合側に至っては銃すら持っていない者たちがほとんどでしょう。
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots.
As I said, a bloodbath.
つまり先ほど言った通り、辺り一面が血の海となる。随分と救いのないシナリオを思い描いちゃいないか。
Many bleak scenarios have already come
すで
true.
に多くの救いのないシナリオが現実になっている。
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court.
残った者たちまでも争いに身を投じることがないようなんとか食い止める。結構大ごとになってきましたね。一人の殺人事件という話ではなく、立場的な問題で戦争状態に突入する可能性があるということですね。クレンネルについてどんなことを知っているか。以前はダウンウェルという社名だった。彼らの活動が全て第三世界あるいは第四世界の国々の実績だということ。内容としては施設の警備や警護護衛任務など、紛争地域での活動経験が豊富ということ。
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese
もう
Islands,
手だれの戦
countries
争
that
をやっ
don't
てこ
have
と
a
で
good
すね。
record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, if you still have access to the ICP's database, you
ICP
could
の
run
デ
a
ータベー
better
スにアクセス
background
可
check
能
than
な
I
ら
ever could.
精密な身
It may
元調
take
査が
some
できるは
time,
ず。
though.
Do you know a lot about the inner working?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the
RCM との
RCM.
関わりを想
I
定
did
した
not
訓練を受け
think
てい
I'd
る。
be dealing with a group like
それなのに
Crenel.
まさかクレネルみたいな集団対応に追われることになるとは思ってなかった。
I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue
彼ら
unit
の
out
元に
in
指
the
示が
field
届くま
here.
で時間がかか
Until
る
they。do,
それまでは
it's all
力
on
を尽くすしかない。
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman.
The lieutenant consults his note.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with
リ
the
ンチと
lynching.
つながりのある暴行事件があったという報告は上がっていません。あれそうだっけ。リンチとつながりのある暴行事件。なんか酒に酔ってて、暴行したみたいな話してなかったかな。記憶違いか。
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a
そうか、
rumor.
あくまで相手の言い分として暴行を受けたという話をしている
Colleagues
だけの
believe.
可能性があるってことか。あの吊るされた大佐とやらはあんたの知り合いだったの
If
か。
you mean did I see him alive? Lely,
レリ
his service
ー、
name.
仕事で使っていた
Nom de guerre,
名
most
前、
likely.
偽名
He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
他のメンバーについて教えてくれ。
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The
コ
other
ー
a
ティ
woman,
は射撃手、
Phyllis Paul.
デフォールは通信士。
The gunner, I believe.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased.
She closes her eyes.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her. asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let
ああ、
on.
自己申告した以上に親しかった可能性を考慮して、わざと細かい部分について聞いてみてた。で、思い出せないっていうぐらいだから、そんな自己申告した通り、そんなに親しくはなかったっていうことが証明されるってことか。はあ、へえ。
That's all right, then. Anything else? National.
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower
年齢だ
jaw.
けでなく表情も読みにくかった。
Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair.
髪は明るい茶色でどこのものか断定はできないけど、鉛もあっ
Messinian,
た。
maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing.
残
He
っ
had to
た
learn to
2
speak
人の
through it.
傭兵
They've
たちは
gone
ど
to
こにい
ground,
る？
as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out.
こちらから探し出すことはお勧めし
They're
ない。
almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think
あな
you're
た方のことを
vigilantes.
単なる自警団あるいはゲットの野蛮人程度にし
It
か思
will
ってい
not
な
be
い
a。fruitful meeting.
あったところで有意義な会話が。そうか。で、今のところは下手に接触しないように
That's
しよう。
wise. Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides,
残された時間はあとどれくらいか。
until the executions start, truthfully,
They don't report their progress.
not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
何週間という猶予はない。あと数日といったところ。
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news.
今ならこの
If
立
there
場
is
について
anything
話
else
し
I can
話してく
help
れ
you
てもいいんじゃないか。
Please, of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photos.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points
点自
themselves
体は
don't
文
have
字でもなければ
letters,
番号でもない
numbers,
単なる点に
anything.
過ぎない。
Their size,
でもそ
location
の
on
大
the
きさ
body
や
and
体に
distance
刻まれ
from
ている
each
位
other
置、そ
tells
して
you
それ
what
ぞ
they
れの
represent.
距離によって何を表しているか導き出せる。
Close. Port cities. This is an Oranese map
オ
of
ラン
the
への水路
waterways.
地図を
A
表してい
sailor's
る。
tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian
船乗りの入
century.
れ墨。
Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
自分が訪れた地をこうやって自分の体に地図として記録していた。この地図にはどんな意味があったんだ。
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they
これ
should
をたど
die
って
abroad.
魂が故郷に帰
This
ると
is
さ
a
れてい
sort
た。
of contraption.
この地図は彼らを祖国に連れ戻すための仕掛けだった。
The silver cord, they would call it. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident.
複雑になってき
From
た。
Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, Revachol.
レバショール。
Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the
肩が
shoulder
フレデフォート
and
で心
Revachol
臓が
on
レ
the
バショー
heart.
ル。
They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insul.
The old world passing by, and the new world. Or
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor.
その音が船乗りでなかった。つまりこれらは港を表しているわけではない。地理情報は断片的に理解できても、これが何を意味するかまではわからない。もっと詳しい話ができるやつはいるか。彼の正体の隊員たちならあるいは、この写真を彼らに見せるのはお勧めできない。本当か彼らの仲間であり専用だった
you
んだから。
wouldn't even know where to start.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
なるほど。なるほどなんだが情報が増えたな。 もうあと数日でことが起こる可能性があるから、最悪の事態はとにかく避けねばならないと。ナイトクラブを立ち上げるのを手伝う時間はあるのか。呪われた商業地区で巨大な白熊の冷蔵庫を探せ。呪われた商業地区ってどこのことなんだろう。個人的には銃も見つけなきゃなと思ってるんですよね。とりあえず金に余裕が出てきたので、ここで本屋によって地図を買おうと思います。で、地図を買ってファストトラベルできるようになったら相当時間の短縮になると期待したいので、地図ってどこだっけ？ここだっけ？
Several maps have been attached. The maps look old and faded. Your eye.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other
売り
two are
物
not
と
for
して
sale
扱ってない。
anymore. And besides, they're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
マジか。
This bookstore is not strictly about crime. Several maps have been. The maps look old and faded. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta. To the east, rolling hillsides. Le Jardin, Hudon. It's somewhere to live. It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North. No. This is somewhere to be. This is all you have.
地図が買えないとなると、ファストトラベルできる場所が広がらない。現段階ではってことなのかな。この建物の地下に巨大な冷蔵庫があると聞いた。あ、ここのことだったのか。
I don't know anything about a fridge. Aren't you interested?
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like
地下室への道はあなた様自身で探し出すしかないようです。
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel...
She speaks almost as if she's... Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
— 女の子に協力を仰げないかな。ちょっと外出てて、つって。
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
ああ、何にもできない。そうか。この地下に入る。
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
電話ボックスか。ここは鍵がかかっている。
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling-in rag and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
No wonder the cafeteria manager seemed frustrated. Well, you did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene.
Mm. この本屋の地下。
Yes?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight, Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging...
I've considered it. I don't think I can say one way or another. I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
Eh, カーテン開けちゃおうかな。地下に、商業地区の地下に冷蔵庫があるって言ってたよな。地下とは言ってないんだっけ。
The spread pattern of these bullet holes make more old bullet holes. Half a century at least.
Remnants from the revolution. Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago, but no.
The lieutenant.
ここは関係あんのかな。
This is the flag of Revachol. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather.
レバショールの
Six small suns
旗の
around
由
the
来に
big
なっ
one.
たもの。
This complex halo phenomena is how,
Mm-hmm.
by old-fashioned, he means very right-wing. The lieutenant does not bow to the flag. It accepts your salute with... A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A little ring, though cheerful. The lieutenant picks up one.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at...
There's the missing tin soldier.
ここにい
Whoever
たや
lived
つ
here
が
might have used the wording
捨てたのか、
something,
マグ
and
カップ
now
を。
they've drawn the eye.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes.
組合の怒りを
Clues
買う
have
こ
a
とに
way
なっ
of
た。
magically connecting to other clues.
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead.
You could ask Everard who this. A row of mugs sits on the shelf.
ここは関係なかった。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? Ooh, not only...
She does have eyes that seem to be
あんた
smeared
本当に炭鉱作業員なのか。
Yes, I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Does anyone in a city like this? It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now. Shoot, Piggy. It's what you...
うーん、別に装備変える必要性も今んとこもないか。あれ、アーマーって取らなかったっけ？まあ、つけてんのか。つけてんのか。当たり次第に本でも買うか。
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the crime. These books, what's more, not a single mention of all the stress this work creates. You see, a killing is declared. Yes, there's tragedy calls. Wait a minute. All this told us nothing about who Dick Mullen actually is. Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across a worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic. Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking? Then this is the book for you.
身元違いのビッグミューレン。ビッグミューレン。
of course. Such violence in America.
Shelves full of biographies of famous.
A true cultural touchstone.
This bookstore is not strictly about amidst the various the point of the book and many it serves platitudes while wholeness, unity. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, the book features chapters on topics. There's even a chapter on the ancient.
Sir, please, no browse. I can't have you end up like opening a police store.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover.
Oh yes, certainly. Another good sale.
いっぱい本買ったよ。なんか変化をちょう
Hello
だい。
again, esteemed officer. Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Everything is on the shelves.
She's attempting to mentally direct you.
Truth be told, not really. My sister brings in most of the goods. I'm sure it's all very... But you don't learn about the important things in life from fabric. I provide a valuable service. As long as the truth is available if you just know where to look. And you have to open and free your mind to understand.
She smiles and nods. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous...
.ここに冷蔵庫があるときた。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. Just a second. Sylvie Malak. Yes. Hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? Well... I am sorry about that. Anything else?
You hear the...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set of The white suede feels like your fingers waste no time closing around the handle. Clutch disengaged. You feel an uninterrupted connection to the mechanic. After a while, you realize silence is your... Of course it's only in your head. Of course it is. But it's at the bottom of the sea. So strange. The machine is not on the bottom of the sea at all. It's right in front of you, well kept. Why did it say that? The handle is pulled back. Somewhere in the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Ah. だいぶ行き詰まりつつあるが、やっぱあそこのカーテンを開いてみるしかないのか。夜になったらいなくなるのか。あ、ルネってあれか。ジジイか。女性のことだと勝手に思い込んでた。ちょっと聞いてみよう。
It is such a pleasure to see you again.
Officer. Ah, yes. The Debardures, I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours.
殺人事件が起こった夜、あんたは何かを見たはずだ。
Money is tight.
警備ブースが裏庭に面している。
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave.
待て、なんで休んでるんだ。
You see, officer, René is the kind of man.
I'm fine, got that. No one.
誰も担当していない。
Since last Monday.
No one has been guarding the...
Yes. It's...
Look, officer. The container yard
コンテナ置き場に警備員なんていらないのさ。今まで一人もいなかった。クレアさんがルネのためにブースを特別に作ったんだよ。飾りのようなもの。
The possibility of someone being in there is.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiners pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can
PTSD の
A decorated Kingsman collecting there
病気持ちが働ける場所を作ったと。
his words. 雇われの身に未来はない。ルネだけの問題じゃない。プログラムを作るべきだ。高齢者を労働市場に戻して生きがいを与えてやるんだ。
Officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
そこで写真を見た。あんたが写っていた。あの女誰だ？
She is nobody. This is none of your concern. And I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu.
ジャンヌ・マリー・ボリュー。誰でもないことはない。
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
?平成がプラスされる装備がどっかにあるはず。もしくはマイナスされる装備か。あった。平成をこれで
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you?
All you
ああ、ダメ
observe
だ。
is a veteran refuse.
This is the uniform of the Royal
Don't you mean Freestyle?
You do not speak his name, Craven.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry. 結構振ってんだけどな、平成に。7点もあるんだけど。ダメか。ちょっと肉体装置に1個振っとこう。で、
Yes?
あ、おっと。こっちじゃない。こっち。
It is such a pleasure to see you
ジャンヌ・マリー・
again,
ボーリューと言ったな。誰の
How
ことだ？
may I head the cities? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in...
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
二人とも彼女を知
We
ってる
knew
の
her.
か。
All right. She was René's first girl back when the prick was...
And then you stole her from me.
Oh, officer. It...
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me. Because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out.
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the thousandth and the...
She died of pneumonia 2
2年前の冬に肺炎で亡くなった。
It was a quiet passage. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugar.
departed. Until the...
A quick grimace of pain passes over Rene's features, but he...
She could never make up her mind about... She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically,
You always confused there. Couldn't let us.
He suddenly remembers you.
話してくれてありがとう。
of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
2年前に死んだ人について何か聞いてもな。となってくると、署名に関しては保留してます。なんかあんまりやったらよろしくない気がする。やっぱあそこのカーテンを開けるしかないな。
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust.
えい。
Just as you're about to pull apart,
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them.
she looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
俺が探している冷蔵庫があると、ここにあると聞いてきた。
Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Leave the curtains be. It's what it wants. No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. I told
従
you.
業員専用の物置があるだけで
Step
すか
away
ら。
from the curtains.
聞いてくれ、今回事情が違う。俺は警察官の中に入れてもらわなきゃならない。
It's not like anyone was killed there.
お、ここで人を殺されたわけでもないのに。女は素早く自分の口を手で覆うと急に黙り込む。自分で困惑している様子だ。
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
もっと良くないことが起きて力が目覚めてしまう。構うものか。あんたに俺は止められない。カーテンを開けさせてもらうぞ。
No. Please just talk to me, officer. Come.
Talking is always good. Go see what the curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
今回は本気でカーテンを剥ぎ取る。GO!
You see a dimly lit room full
埃の
of
かぶっ
dusty
た家具
furniture
があ
and
ちこち
trash.
に置かれ、
A
ゴ
door
ミが散乱
stands
して
in
い
the
る
back,。covered in dozens of
奥にあるドアは
scary
小さく不気味な
Japanese
攻めラインの魔除けでびっしり覆われてい
like
る。
an omen.
I warned you. You're unleashing force.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you. What if you just break it down?
いっそ壊してしまったらどうか。
That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground. The room is dimly lit and littered with old. It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood
ヒ
there
ンジも
for
古くなっ
ages.
て赤い
The hinges are
赤褐色
old
の
and
サビ
coated
に
with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable. That's right. Steady breathing. Solid. The room is. It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable.
うん。
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on
もう
the
一回
door.
体当たりする
It's
必要があ
going
る
to
が
take one more try to break through to the other side.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
とりあえず一回回復しとこう。何も言わず再びドアに体当たりする。体勢をぶっ壊せと叫びながらドアを突き破る。動くなよクズどもと叫びながらドアを突き破る。動くなよクズどもと言いながら。
What is this place? Yes, but no one's been. I doubt the electricity still works.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window.
Sounds good.
手に懐中電灯持てということですね。交換だけの弾だ。
A barbell lies on its 60 kilograms.
60キロ。
Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one.
フィラメントメモリー制作スケジュール。なんだこりゃ。
Looks like someone tried to. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same slips. That's a good question. Reality is. A dusty radio computer sleeps
ラジオ
on
コン
its
ピュータ
wide
ー。
frame, forgotten and
Another radio computer.
what he means is that these things this is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5.
It's your call. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
The machine lights up like some
おお、動
prehistoric
いた。
animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. It's empty like a beehive. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
再
The
生。
speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
制作記事のパスワードを試したい。
Please repeat the password. Receive.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of
Fortress accident. Thank you.
tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft nothing happens.
おー。
The speaker comes.
Good afternoon. Please repeat. Good. Please good. I've
お、
unlocked
来た来
the
た来た来た来た。
production schedule. After
通信を終了したら
vehicle
印刷をしてフィラメントにアクセスしてください。
She just used the same password? Maybe those radio computer...
Fortress accident is thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. With a quiet determination, the printer starts printing. A piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan. A
印
black
刷
crisscross of
物が出
letters
ました。
covers its
印刷物を
surface.
読む。
It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott, about Wirral
フォートレスアクシデントというスタジオが開発したラジオゲームビラルアンテザードについてまとめたものらしい。
The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule. Fortress Accident employed 18 people, the bulk of the team composed, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the base. But on the other hand, why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists? It didn't. No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when one of them even managed in its short time of existence. The first tranche of seed financing
15万リアルが入ってきたものをその後に遅延が発生したとやる。
the damage reached 400,000
最終的に
with
40
only
万
half of the game
リアルに達した一方でゲーム開発は半分しか終わらなかった。ものすごく身にしみる。
400,000 real. You're my yo. These guys knew how to
こ
party.
のエピソード身にしみるな。
Let's just say it was a real adventure for their account. The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers. It was impossible not to fail. The project was too. They tried to make a 4 million real. They thought they could bridge the gap. They couldn't. No. Even then, success remained within, that is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads. At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jim Spawn, Suliswaf Jalisa, decided this place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member. The world had never seen their kind before, and so many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men. Or, well, yeah, that, and the catastrophic data loss.
オーナーが教会のログに記録していた異常とはこのこ
On
と
the
か。
nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end where things. What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front, just as the Wirral Untethered project was being compiled that day. When the project was returned, it was complete. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, But despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation.
サービスプロバイダーである。失われたデータも賠償されなかった。
Mysteriously enough, it seems that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when it was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee. S. Luukinen killed her, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me. I didn't have a home anymore. So I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator.
地下にある白熊の冷蔵庫の中に保管するようになった。あそこなら適当に保てるし。
Her former colleagues. She's right, actually. Nothing wrong with the production schedule. Ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime 4 months later by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream.
何か深刻な問題がここで起きている。マルティネーズ全体がおかしい。例の事故の詳細について未だにリンテルから返答をもらえない。東インスリンでのフロントで起きた障害の物理座標だけ空中で発生しているから。
Turns out it's only 800 meters from
サンブリューン1147番地。
Sanbrun 1147. That's what the street sign next to the tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework with a quiet determination. The printer starts printing, a piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan. A black crisscross of letters covers its surface. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. Your flashlight slides over and some of the writing has faded with age. The photo collage depicts barren, entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, albeit dark and cold. This vision also a pinned postcard reads, these lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of Welkins. You make out autumnal, translucent Welkins, with organs shining under. You should adopt one of those Welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a Welkin. One of the Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be it's Vara Hamira, a high Welkin. His face white and scarred like crap. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. Just look at those details.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50.
50年の月間カレンダー。1年前、2年前ぐらいってこと。
Span the marker-drawn grid. The grand scheme of production. It looks a bit. Minimi stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for many. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out. The full text reads, Heat death of the universe is the new. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. History classes, students with their textbooks open. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations.
ラジオ放送局だ。どの曲も線をたどっていくとゲームマスター周波数と名付けられた赤い中心点に行き着く。この一箇所でどこでも好きな曲を聴けるというメモ書きがある。
They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap. Whoever decides to call in to a list of names under the stations suggests people. There's no way a little basement.
My God, it's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Exactly. This schedule.
ああ、とにかくむちゃくちゃなプロジェクトのゲームを作ってたということですね。
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times.
お、なんか話したいことがある。
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer?
あ、そうなん、ラジオゲーム開発スタジオ、フォートレスアクシデントだった場所だ。
What I meant was, what were their ambitions?
This is way above your tiny little policeman head.
Okay, well, I think...
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it.
ラジオコンピューター上で遊べるように。紙とペンで遊ぶロールプレイングゲームがあるけれども、ラジオコンピューター上で遊べるようにするようなプロジェクトっていうのはないと。自動化ゲームの類は作られている。
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have true call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations.
His fascination has swept aside other coordinating so many.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff.
Super cool. Someone should give them.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... Yes, especially in here. Okay, let's keep moving.
マグネシウムいっぱい手に入るな。11個目だ。白熊の冷蔵庫だ。
You see, a terrifying ice. The bear looks oddly real. This must be the giant ice bear fridge that's Suna mentioned. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his...
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers.
ドアに手書きのメモが貼ってある。巨大な冷蔵庫だ。
But where's the filament memory? It's not here.
オフサイトコピーがどこにもないじゃないか。
Someone must have taken it. What does the note?
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keep a friendly cartoon bear. The paper still smells of it.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What is even worse, the bear is still costing...
The fridge buzzes with...
お、秘密の出入り口。トヤラの前にここら辺の探索を進ませよう。
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black...
あとはこれ。
A thick layer of coal dust
セントラルボイラー。
coloring it.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only death.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear. The echo is so prominent.
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate. See if someone's upstairs.
で、アイテムとしては、この冷蔵庫の手書きメモを読ま
The
ねばなら
note
ない。
is written with a blue pencil.
Does it say anything interesting?
Someone has scribbled.
オフサイトコピーがまだここにあるなんて信じられない。読み書きのできない赤毛の子供が何度もスタジオに盗みに入るものだから安全な場所に隠さねばならなかった。
You'll find the filament memory with the offsite copy in the frozen ice cream maker.
氷に覆われたアイスクリームメーカーの中にある。
ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswa.
Sulislav. Wasn't he one of Miss Lucan and Kilda's co-workers? I remember coming across this name when... Really? You don't have a single guess? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. It belongs inside a radio...
It's like the production schedule.
I don't know.
Didn't you see one?
氷に覆われたアイスクリームメーカーってこれのことか。
This orange machine is buzzing like an old. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold.
Didn't Sona give you a perfect tool for this kind of job?
Equip the multi-tool by going to the tool...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen
肉
shut.
体装置4。肉体装置を上げる装備はあったかしら。よ。肉体装置。あ、白いタンクトップ。肉体装置を白いタンクトップにつけて、アイテムで気力マイナス1する代わりに肉体を強化する。アルコール飲料、コモドールデッド。テントピルスナー。こっち使うか。ん？これ使うのどうやるんだっけ？手に持って使うんだっけ？この状態で。
Well, hello. What a solid can of mass-produced piss. Wow. The gods of mass production of... There's a satisfying pop as the cap comes off. And the hair on your back rises like a golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's an alcohol button. Alcohol gives +1.
From the void we came.
で、装備を持ち替えて、タンクトップもつけてるから、これで肉体装置の
is
五分五
buzzing
分
like
ま
a
で上がり
old
ましたね。
submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an
あー、
ice
失敗。
squeaks beneath your Kavalzun. Unplugging the ice cream maker will allow it to defrost.
立ち去って、肉体装置のレベルをもう一個上げる。OK にして、これでホワイトスキル
This
チェックをもう
orange
一回。
machine is buzzing like
ほ
an
い。
old submarine.
よし、いっ
Ice
た。
groans and howls under the strain of your giant. Inside, on a frosty platform, lies an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep. Disappointment washes over you as you stare into the almost empty. You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding. Careful not to.
We should take it back to Miss Lucan and killed as soon as...
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on?
これあれかな、氷、電源ケーブル止めたらもうちょっとマシになったのかな。とりあえずここまでで一旦セーブ。ここに繋がってたのか。で、隠し扉が見つかったってことなんで、は、
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those right. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Sure. Okay, here's some more an old Belmagrave rifle. That's rare to find in such good order. It's yours, officer. You found this place. It means there are firearms, albeit not still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say.
銃器が転がっているということだ。
He likes this find.
天井の下に壊れた銃がねじ込んである。アイテム。年代物のベルマグレイブライフル。木製フレームを備えたボルトアクションの4連式軍用ライフル。これ装備はできないんだね。アイテムとして活躍するかも。
Tiles on the cube are still like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the speaker comes to life. Static seat.
Good evening. Please repeat. Is this the good? Please repeat the password. No, that's not it. No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol.
Receive.
Don't worry.
Fortress accident. Good. Thank you. Please, thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in. Nothing happens. It's a project report. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and 4 months later by an unknown author. Still haven't got it. I have compared the coordinates to a Sanbrun 1147, That's what the street sign next to the church said. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Nothing happens.
オフサイトコピーのパスワードに関するヒントなんかあったっけ？インタラクト、冷蔵庫の手書きメモ。
The note is written with a blue pencil. Someone has scribbled. You'll find the filament memory with the offside copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a...
まあわかんないから。
The cube are the filament slides out of its glowing nest.
上の階になんか誰かいるかもみたいな話してたね。でもなんもないよな。
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. This is directly above the central furnace in the... What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fit...
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe we should ask the lady in the bookstore what's going on here.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy. I suppose it's all over now. Just a door? This place is cursed, detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for
この建物に入ってた多くの企業がことごとく潰れてるんですよ。呪われている。呪いのせいにして。
Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
Host Almighty, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the door. Blessed.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a... All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed...
Her facade has dropped.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? Yes, the malignant...
あの闇の存在は煙突の中に住んでいるんです。人間の女の姿をしているのですが、おそらく魔女の類かと。あの女はこの呪いについて詳しく知っているはず。あのセントラルヒーターにくっついている煙突のことが中から声が聞こえた。
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal... Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building.
かの存在を探し出してこの建物に入っていた会社がどうなってしまったのか聞いてみてくださいな。無事に話を聞き出せたらこちらに戻ってきてください。
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace.
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to... Yes, I've contacted numerous. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now... Oh, this! No, it's a special Himian amulet. Blessed, there are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example.
この女。
It's guaranteed to boost sales.
この女、呪いとかおまじないとかで売り上げ
There's
を。
a pygmy shamans. That sounds... Doesn't seem like the spell is working. There are no customers around except you.
Sir, I am well educated in the commercial and esoteric arts. I know what to do and what to avoid. Discount my wares? Besides, this would only tempt the phantoms of doom. They can... Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and the curse is so much worse. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something super... There's something wrong with this building. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail.
Wow. Such wraiths may prove a form... The woman looks aloof.
Hmm. 何が待ち受けているのか。男性部。
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before you. This is directly above the central furnace in...
あれなんかないのか。中に入る方法を見つけろ。地下の電源を落としたらどうなるんだろうな。どっからどう来たんだっけ？これか。これが入り口か。
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Something breaks loose in you.
こちら警察だ。そこにいるのは誰だ？
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound...
After you, officer.
これで OK だったのか。確かに声は響く。色とりどりの多面体ダイス。大量のダイスを生産している。
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Millie. So what kind of diet?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
そのミリュってのは具体的に何なんだ？
Yes, my Millie is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting.
なぜ俺に
So observed.
ダイスの話題を振るん
I'm
だ
a。novelty dice maker. Tell me the
ハ
name
ム
of
ダ
your
イス職人
role-playing
なの。
system and I'll make the die you
遊んでいる
need.
RPG の名前を教えてくれれば、必要なダイスを作ってあげる。
As she speaks, her bone-like role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
そうだな、俺もロールプレイングゲームは好きだし、ダイスが必要だ。
Very good. My rate is 10 real, but take a look around and see if there's any
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shell. This person means you, or no falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide.
なんか100面ダイスとかくれない？なんかぶっ壊れるやつ。ゲームバランスが。
How did I become one? It was a business. Some of my friends were role players. They, not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on
ワーリング・
novelty
イン・ラ
items.
グズの裏でリンチされた男について何か知っているか？
Nothing really.
The lieutenant looks.
Your window looks directly
直
onto the
接中
courtyard.
庭が見
You're
下
saying
ろせ
you
ますね。
didn't see or hear
先
anything
週の日曜
unusual
の夜、
on
本当に
Sunday
何
evening.
も変わったことを見たり聞いたりしていないんですか？
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out
い
most
つも
as well.
騒がしい。
There's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
うん。
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's
日曜の夜もこうやって
dark
働いて
outside.
ること
It's
が多い
an
の
odd
か。
profession, making dice for people. But I like it. And
She nods.
anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
煙突の中。
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build my...
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere
この
else.
場所は呪われてい
She
ると
must
聞い
have
た。
known the other business.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. It's just capitalism.
単に資本主義がもたらした結果よ。
So it's often surprising to
普段
realize
私
how many
たち
ventures
の耳に
actually
届くのは成
fail.
功の物語ばかりだから、実際にどれだけの新興企業が潰れているかを知ると驚いてしまうの。そうですね。全然生き残らないという話はありますね。10年後に生き残ってる会社の数が何%だったかなとか、そういうのありますよね。
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather
彼女の
well.
事業はむしろうまくいってる方だ
The
と
energy
聞いている
spared
けれ
her
ど、
somehow.
そこだけエネルギーの影響。あの本屋だが実のところそこまで繁盛してるわけじゃない。客はほとんど入ってないし、店を潰さないために実の娘を不当に働かせているくらいだからな。
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the
待ってくれ、
building
ワーリング・イン・ラグズも呪われてる商業地区の一部なのか。
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and
東
on
デ
the
ル
big
タ
estate
商
of
業
my
センター
central
会
project.
建設計画の一環として建てられた。
And then there is me. I've been here for 14
ここで14
years,
年間ロールプレイングゲームを愛してやまない人たちにカスタムライフを売り続けている。
Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious
ここまで生き残ってきたよ。
Strange.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer?
呪いなんてものはなかったんだ
Malignant
と
entity?
思い始めてる。すべては各社の経営判断と自然に変化していった市場が生み出した結果だ。
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointing.
でしょうね。
I'm glad we got this sorted out.
That's all she has to say on the subject. Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
More or less.
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Oh, this one's a mess. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit,
What's this?
and they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway. It's a Sub Rosa radio station
本物殺人の様子を放送する秘密のラジオ局。怖すぎる。怖すぎるよ。スナッフ系の話は怖すぎるよ。
Nothing changes in her. What does she mean?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching. Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something.
You wouldn't like it either. A bit of It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer... Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
若者を取り巻く状況は、環境はさらにひどくなった。ある時期から下の階のサンドバッグには新規約が詰まっているなんて噂が流れ始めたくらい。
You should have known it's not really full of that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever. You mean Mr.
But what drugs exactly?
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't...
Even you can probably do better.
でもない匂いをまき散らしていた。
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head design. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. And you know how all kinds of political... And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill.
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula, or Tiumotiri, or Hashtkor, or... Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary.
They were just... Maybe you could make a sword out of one.
Fortress Accident, the radio games, they were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their accident. I wouldn't know anything about that. I just heard... Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about it. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
The result is 1.
Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. The place was owned by 2 guys who...
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter.
Sounds like she really... Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs.
ニキビ顔の女友達とゴリラみたいな男友達が秘密の近くにたむろしてる。
And they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast by telling you to do more.
A wise and noble beast.
これハーバーやらない。
Very good. You shouldn't do them. Anyway, now you know the story. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. The one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it's... Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
今まで作った中で一番の特注品の話を聞
A
かせてくれ。
star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Alright. Maybe some other tie then? I think I have just the right one for you. You're a police officer, right? Here.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it. Mr. Smooth Moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
ギリギリ成功。大職人にウインクする。
Oh, what are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone.
She winked back at you. Can you believe it?
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
タッチさる。20面ダイスのセット。2つの20面ダイス。赤い部分はブラッドストーン、青い部分はラピスラズリでできている。振って目を染めれば、現場に駆けつけた気分になれる。はい。といったところで、もうちょっと、てっぺん回ってしまって0時過ぎてしまったので、ここまでに、今日の操作はここまでにしようかなと思います。9時過ぎたからあれだ。忘れんうちにマンションに会いに行くか。出口が夜になり反対側の店はもう閉まっている。こっから出れないのか。でもう一個のこっちだ。やばい、何も見えん。こっちか。謎の男に会いに行きます。 こから入るでよかったはず。でここ出て、いた。男はいた。
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit and his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting downstairs.
Besides,
something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay?
He's right. Only losers go to bed early. Time to break out the booze. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
Bye.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Different, of course. Something so mysterious about the way. Very.
He's barely holding it together. It's...
Come on, detective. Let's go. We've got to put...
帯を一応変えとこう。何の判定が来るかわかんないんですけどね。元に戻しておきます。こんなもんか、でも。さパーティードラゴンのシルクローブ。セーブ。で話しかけましょう。
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
His hands are clean and well manicured.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an
連合政府に仕える役人だ。価格安定局に勤めていて、こちらはスルラクレの任務で来た。
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
こいつ個人に関する質問をしろ。それが聞き物に必勝法だ。
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
リンチの現場を実際に目撃したの
I'm
か。
sorry to say I did, officer.
よかったら最初から全てを話してくれ。
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they
最初
came
にバルコニーにい
carrying
た。
what looked like a body. And then I saw all the
死体のようなものを抱えていた。その後、周辺の窓から明かりが消えていった。一つまた一つと。
That's when I understood.
そして理解したんだ。これは見てはいけないものだと。
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
どんな奴ら特
I
徴は
couldn't see their faces well,
か
and
な
there
り
were
の
quite
人
a
数
few
だ
of
っ
them.
た。
But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with I couldn't tell you exactly.
8人くらい
The
かな。
lieutenant sends you a sharp look.
その中に図体の大きなやつがいたか。200キロぐらいありそうな。
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human. As far
私が見た限り、いずれも普通の人間だった。
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything?
Officer, the yard was pitch black.
庭は真っ暗だったんだ。見ようたって何も見えない。ただ彼らの声が聞こえたよ。連中のあるな男。殺すと脅していた。奴らは男だったか、女だったか。
All men, I presume. But again,
全員男だったと思う。何
I
人
believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw two Aeropagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesca.
一人メスクのアクセントで話す者がいた。
Well, that's the strangest part, officer.
公開処刑にしてはあまりにも静かだったんだ。何も起こらなかっ
Oddly
た。
quiet for a public lynching.
どういう意味だ、連中はリンチをしたんだぞ。
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was...
All I can say is that it was late.
もう一度確認させてほしい。あんたが男が吊るされるところを実際には見てないんだな。
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
質問は以上だ。お時間
Of
だ。
course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
あんたのような役人がなぜマ
The
ルティネスに
coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
「連合の唯一の関心は絶対的に安定した価格を設定することにある。インフレは大敵だ。
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires
なる
international
ほど。だが
oversight.
知りたいのはこの部屋で何をしているかだ。
Ah, well, I'm
こ
renovating.
こを改装してるんだよ。
It is an interesting project.
かつては12階建ての高層建築だったんだが、大砲で上の4階を吹き飛んでしまってね。
You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international.
Well-
Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the institute.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability.
価格安定局なんてものは
Or
存在し
maybe
ない
there
はず。
is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the moral intern is joking or not.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world.
倫理主義者とは
governed by
民主主義的価値観のもと、正常かつ安定した世界を望む者たちだからか。だからだ。マルティネーズは正常とも安定とも面と思える。
No.
マルティネーズはまた違うもの。
Something else. Rivachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government,
つ
which
まり
means
完全な民主主義は
it
未だ
hasn't
確
achieved
立できていない
full
状態にある。
But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Sounds like you're a moralist indeed. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call
革命による
the
混乱を
coalition.
阻止した
Your
国々とは
employer,
連合という。
technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCA. It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the which is essential.
Basically, it makes
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep
インフレを
inflation just below
2% 以下に
2%.
抑えるために働いているのさ。何が 2% 以下なんだ？だから下げすぎてもダメだ。それでは失敗なんだ。ギリギリ 2% に満たないぐらいがいい。ちょっと今の日本政府に聞かせてあげたい言葉ですね。
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits
連合は
of
安定した価格の恩恵について市民に周知することは重要だと考えている。
Would you like an
じゃあせっ
information?
かくなの
A
でいただ
sound
こう。
monetary policy is essential for a but oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today.
スル
What's
ラ
there
ク
to
レに
say?
ついて教えてくれ。
Sur la clé is a modern, urbanized. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol.
Darling, that can't be an official
レバショールがなぜスルラクレの
Because a great
仲間なんだ。
percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur la clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone.
Whatever you wish, officer.
あんたの友人について話が聞きたい。
My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, that it's never going to happen. They enter negotiations in 20. EPIS is a very special program developed by the moral intern to
設
support
定
certain
の用語が本当に多い
It
な。
began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye.
God, yes. Sweet.
It was such a wild success that
貿
we
易の
expanded it
標
into
準
an
化をした。
economic
なるほど。
union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the more a supranational political alliance. The You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent. It's one day going to be a candidate member.
Except that candidate members never become.
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we? But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for au contraire. It's how
延々と
millions of
設
people
定の話を
invest
される
in
な。
meeting the people's aim.
何百万もの人間が
It's
そう
how I came here, and my friend too.
彼がどういう人間なのかまだ何も聞けてないが。あんたの友人でバルコニーでタバコを吸っていた青年、彼の
But I
話をしてい
told
た
you,
はずだが。
officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education.
彼は頭のいい若者で教育を受ける
Education is
も
the
の受け
foundation
るた
of
め
our
にここにいる。
especially the arts. It is
そ
a
うか。
cornerstone
で、
of
彼の
our
本名は
civilization. Officer, you have to understand.
彼の個人情
I
報を
can't
出すわ
give
けに
you
はい
his
かない
personal。information. I'm sure you have your. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the. He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo. I'm sure you'll see him around. I'm all ears, officer.
ありがとう、話は以上だ。
Do you have everything you need?
本当に必要なことだ。
I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen.
あまり外交的に褒められたことではないんだ。
After you leave,
それに私も時間に追われているみたいで、君が帰ったら私も出な
That's
ければな
not
るん
the
だ。
real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's
わざわざご
apartments
親切
in
に
the
どうも
middle
だが、
of
こ
the
こで
night.
の仕事は終わった。
of course. I'm.
出ますか。 こまでですね。今日はキリがいいというかなんというか。フレイザンスへの報告はもう夜だからできないかな。ここからファストトラベルできないのか。で、あれ、ここもできない。できるエリア限られすぎじゃないか。ファストトラベル。よいしょ。これで、ここもいけない。ここでもダメなのか。ここならいけるはずだ。ここにファストトラベルしてきたから。あ、いけるわ。ファストトラベル分かりづらすぎるだろ
う。It's getting late, and it's raining. Time.
Good night, officer.
はい。というところで、ちょっと道具を持ち替えよう。袋本。
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, the water reflects back a vague image. You'll be looking like a fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling the water reflects back a vague image of you almost look. The beardless nature of your cheeks makes the An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the
謎の古代爬虫類の
You're one fine and
recorded in you forever on Faraday.
No, you're spinning tapes at the disco. On and on it goes for untold hours.
Behold, there are millions.
It's the world, Harry boy. And you can never forget this shit.
Beautiful.
You're the son of the world again.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the...
You'll go insane if you keep going like this.
For the working class, for the greater good.
Solving your little crossword puzzles, doing your tasks, crossing names off lists, trying to become some sort of world. There he goes again.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing.
Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together.
はい。謎のコーナーを終えまして、
is a suspicion or a fear. An earth-shattering every day. Things seem to spin more, and you've got to find out who bears the most awesome. It is human nature to crave la responsabilité and to deny it. Harry, la responsabilité isn't concerned with trivial questions like who killed who. It's about the real issues, the human welfare. Whoa. This isn't like a committee. Only the most together you'll be able to discover who has la responsabilité in Rivershaw. And
このレバショールにおいて誰が責任を負うにふさわしいかを突き止められるだろ
to
う。
assign it among yourselves. Good luck. Your report is eagerly anticipated.
なんか急に新しい。他の倫理主義者たちと共に委員会を組織して誰の責任を決めた方がいいだろう。なんかよくわからない角度からタスクが増えた。さあ、ここから4日目ですね。はい。というところで、4日目スタートしたところで、キリがいいので、配信も終わりたいと思います。いやー、なんか、予想もつかないスケールに話がなってきた気がしますが、はい。ひとまずは、タスクも順調に進んでいるということで、また次回、明日やれたらいいかな、どうかな、といったところで終わりたいと思います。お疲れ様です。